Carjacked this vehicle after his car had some sort of issue and he abandoned it. Another red light right there, swerving around other cars, still westbound on Whittier. Whittier seems to be one of the streets he constantly has been taking. Another red light right there, so due, and then this car just barrels out of nowhere. Another tight squeeze right there, and you can see, look at that, threading the needle, unbelievable, locking up those brakes again, wrong side of the road, joining traffic, just weaving through that major right there. The public's safety is at risk out here with this person running amok like you see a vehicle. We're just south of the mall. Look at that. He's trying to get his way through there. Northbound on Paramount, looks like we're going to be getting into a parking lot, just cutting through, working his way back out. Now he's going to be on the wrong side of the road. He does have an island right there that he has to jump over if he plans on getting onto the freeway. Now it's actually has grass. Whoa, look at that. You just got to wonder what that person just driving along right there is got to be thinking. This guy is moving 80 miles an hour right towards you. It must be a panic situation. I wouldn't imagine anybody would be in that situation. I would hate to see that. His speed seemed to have slowed down just a little bit. Maybe he's getting a little bit nervous, but you can see at least one officer right now really starting to close that gap. Montebello PD. Ooh, this little fishtailing. Solid red.
Okay, I'm at the closet.
Oh! Made contact.
I don't know, Patrick. Pat, don't do that. I've got too much to worry about.
Up on the curb.
What's the problem?
Yep.
Can't pass my boating exam. I've taken it 37.
Yes.
38 times. I know all the answers. Until I get behind the wheel. I just need something to help me think.
Well, yeah, we were privy to some of that information while we were trying to make our way to this pursuit. That vehicle did slow down in a neighborhood, and that person jumped out and fled. So I would believe that would have been a suspect. That was Montebello PD making that huge effort to keep behind that vehicle. You also saw a California Highway Patrol vehicle right there, again, passing these vehicles extremely high speed. Officers are still behind them down there. They're a little bit farther back, as we understand it. The helicopter keeping an eye on. Look at that. Again, wrong side of the road, high speeds, and this seems to be a little bit more of a residential area. And at this erratic driving he is making, look at that, cutting these people off on the wrong side of the road again. You know, you mentioned those intersections. He has hit so many solid reds. Look at the number of pedestrians right there. Southbound Alhambra right now, southbound, and the deputies are saying, you know, my stomach tenses up because you're just worried for the other people involved in the pedestrian. Whoa! Ho! Ho! Oh, just, you know, this person obviously no regard, you know, luck. I'm not sure what you want to call it. Luck probably for the other people, not for this person, that nobody's been injured, but so close there with that pedestrian. And again, oh, solid red. Solid red right there. You know, you're right. And, you know, he has moved sheriff vehicles right there. Now they're going to start joining that pursuit. Whoa! Right through that center divider. Can't be good for that vehicle. And now he's going against traffic underneath the freeway right there. I believe that's the 10th freeway. There's that sheriff ship that I was talking about earlier on. Driving over that center divider, that those high speeds can't be good for that vehicle. But that car, it's in a residential area again. And you can see that how tight these streets are. And look at that. There's so much traffic out here this afternoon. So many close calls. I can't even count how many. This car continuing on though seems to be slowing down just a little bit. But given he's coming around other people. Whoa! Oh! 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 This is just the norm. Don't know if that car actually made contact there, but it was so close. Cutting off drivers. We're approaching the 10 freeway, and he's on the 710, cutting across there on a gore point, and I believe that's going to take us on to the 10 freeway. It's one. Oh, excuse me. I'm finding out that it's one of the side streets right there, but he's basically stuck right there in Ramona. Ramona is the off ramp, and he's working his way. Whoa! You know, we're coming up on Cesar Chavez right there. You can see one of the California Highway Patrol vehicles in waiting for this suspect. And that's one of the things that they really have been trying to do out here. They've been trying to notify other divisions, other units, and an interesting residential neighborhood as it has that center medium. Stop sign right there, and another car just turning. Look, you can see those people swerving out of the way to avoid collisions with this suspect. Look at that, cutting off a bicyclist right there as they were weaving through this residential neighborhood. These streets getting tighter and tighter out here. You can see that helicopter. Sheriff's Department. Look at that bright night sun, keeping that area lit up, keeping that area warning the other people that it's going.
Are in Montebello now, so we've seen him go through East LA and Commerce and Pico. Now he enters Montebello, just missing a van right there. He's picking up speed. When he gets to these major streets, he really lays down the hammer, and he gets going so fast. There's no reaction time, just flying through intersections, and imagine expecting others to stop for him, JT.
Yeah, it's just, it's everybody, it's right now, he has a total disregard for anybody's safety data. He is going to do what he wants and when he wants, and they need to get him off the road. We understand he is westbound on Beverly right now in Montebello. We thought it was easy.
Cautious about that. We've heard him talk about it many times, that if this guy gets out of that vehicle, he has carjacked before, and there is always that possibility that he will do it again. Working our way into Downey, looks like a pit, Oh, whoa, whoa! Oh, now you know that was not the plan that they had for that suspect. Right there, he just TC'd into a civilian vehicle. The door popped open, but nobody's jumped out. That vehicle definitely came to a stop out here. We're very close to Downey. We understand that they were just about to tell the Downey officers they were heading that way. You can see the officers. They're basically southbound Lakewood is where we're talking about. There he is, suspect. He's got the gun in his hand, and he's shooting in the air. It looks like we saw two muzzle flashes as the suspect is running with that weapon in his hand. The suspect running southbound now through what we're looking at is a shopping mall area. He did shoot into the air a couple of times. We're keeping an eye on that awning. We want to try to move a little bit to the south. Unsure if he's keep coming around, John. And we're not sure if he ran into that restaurant or he was inside that awning. As I understand it, he ran inside this Chris and Pitts. And here comes the pit off the right side, and he crashes into another vehicle. And get everybody on the other side of this car out of the way. He's jumping. He's
right by the Chris and Pitts, running there. He's got a gun in his hand, you said? You got somebody that ran into the Chris and Pitts here.
Can just imagine what kind of panic is going on inside that restaurant right now. You can see people running outside, officers taking them, talking to them, getting them to safety. Well, you can see these very desperate people coming out. A small child, elderly woman inside that restaurant. Other patrons coming out, putting their hands up almost as quickly as they get outside the door. Officers from the California Highway Patrol working with some other wait staff that are coming out the door. Look at this. Look at this. Families. These are families inside that restaurant. It just makes you wonder what was going through these people's minds, especially like the gentleman. You're there. You're with your family. You are the patron of your family. You want to protect them. Man comes in with a weapon, obviously in a desperate situation. This could have gone very, very south. We don't know what exactly is going on in there right now, but I can tell you that you can see these people coming out very scared, very high tension. Officers from the California Highway Patrol, weapons drawn. We saw many children coming out of this. Look at this, another large family coming out. Children, adults. This is indescribable to think what must have been going on inside that restaurant as this person ran in there with that weapon. We know he was shooting in the air earlier on. Look at the number of people inside that restaurant. We could tell just from the number of cars in the parking lot that this restaurant had a lot of people inside. That door.
You're going to see the muzzle flash. There he goes. He's pointing out that gun, and he right over his head. And I mean, what a dangerous.
More people coming out. Watch closely. Look at all the people that were in this restaurant.
Thanks for watching.
What a scene in there.
And it may be a good idea, and I'm not sure we can roll that tape back from the suspect coming out, but it might be a good idea when we get a chance to actually look at that video again to see if there's any distinguishing tattoos or anything other than clothing that could. Usually shoes are a good thing. Sometimes they don't change shoes. That we could.
Ran in with a gun.
Yeah, David, that's the assumption that I made. It could be the right or the wrong.
Look, more people are coming out right now.
That's a live
Sorry
picture.
to interrupt you, JT, but you can see more. This restaurant had so many people inside, and look at these children. And I mean, what a scene for these poor patrons who are dining inside this barbecue restaurant. And that's an employee probably right there.
Yeah, a lot of people with red shirts, so maybe that's their uniform that they wear in this restaurant. But go ahead, JT. What were you telling us?
Yeah, the assumption that could be made is that you would think that immediately people would.
Let me make my way back
Oh,
over
they're
here.
going inside.
All right. Let's be quiet. Let's be quiet. Oh, man.
They're pushing everyone back here now. Loud flashbang just went off. Set off a car alarm.
Hold on, George.
All we can do from here is just piece together the evidence that we are seeing. Clearly this is over. They are nonchalantly walking out of the building. They have the crime tape up, and we did see a paramedic run in there. We have not seen a suspect, as far as I can tell, walk out of that building. We did see some people in handcuffs, but we believe that was precautionary, and that was after this dynamic entry that they made inside, so they didn't take chances on anybody that they ran into. They handcuffed them all and walked them out, but quite possibly the gunman may be down.
On the end of a standoff in Downey.
The sheriff's pilot and observer radioed to Pico Rivera Sheriff Station deputies about the location of the stolen vehicle suspect. While they were waiting for ground units to arrive from the sheriff's department, they continued to observe the suspect, and they watched him carjack a person at gunpoint at the 11400 block of C Drive, that's S-E-E Drive, in unincorporated Whittier County. What took place inside the restaurant, I do not have that information. I can bring you up to that point. I can tell you from there, an emergency developed. The Special Enforcement Bureau of the LA County Sheriff's Department entered the restaurant. There was a deputy-involved shooting, and the suspect is deceased. Again, I don't have information about what happened inside, as this just occurred. As you can imagine, it's been a very difficult night, especially for the people in the restaurant, as well as anybody who's had contact with a suspect during this very dangerous few hours.
That's Captain Mike Parker talking about what has happened tonight in what can only be described as a crazy pursuit, even by Los Angeles standards. And the latest word is that the suspect is now dead inside the restaurant, that a deputy-involved shooting did occur, but Captain Parker not able to confirm whose gunfire actually caused the suspect's death.
Indeed, we will continue monitoring the situation. We'll have more news after this short break.
Good night, Mom.